What's up YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Finance and Freedom. My name is Todd, and today we're talking about MSTY, or probably more specifically MSTR. But before we do that, alright, so there are some big things happening with MSTR starting tomorrow. They are potentially going to be part of the S&P 500, and we could find out as early as tomorrow. The reason that's such a big deal is because lots of people invest in the S&P 500. In fact, we're talking 401ks, robo-advisors, and pension funds just automatically now have part of MicroStrategy or MSTR, which would be huge news for the company. All of a sudden now they're going to start buying more Bitcoin, which they're already buying tons and tons of Bitcoin. They have billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, and so this would only perpetuate that even further. And so there's a high likelihood that it'll happen. All right, let me read something for you. MSTR was one of the best performing stocks in 2024. The company currently holds 636,505 Bitcoin, worth nearly $71 billion. The stock has a market cap of just under $98 billion, and in order to be included in the S&P 500, a firm must meet the following criteria. The company must be domiciled in the US, market cap must be equal to or exceed 22.7 billion, monthly trading volume must be equal to or greater 250,000 shares, liquidity ratio must exceed 75%, shares must be listed on the stock exchange, such as the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. Strategy meets all the criteria to be part of the S&P 500. A lot of Bitcoiners say MSTR's inclusion on Friday is not only likely, but also paradigm shifting. This isn't just another index shuffle, says Adam Livingston, author of Bitcoin Wizard. It is the moment where every 401k, robo-advisor, and pension fund accidentally ends up hodling Bitcoin. That's huge. That's huge for Bitcoin, that's huge for MSTR, and coincidentally, MSTY as well. I'll get to the end of that in just a moment. And for those of you who are wondering what hodling is, there was a post made by someone a long time ago. I can't remember who it is. And if you know, say down the post or in the comments. But hodling is hold on for dear life. People speculate that the guy made a mistake and meant to say hold and then just stuck with it and said hodl. But hodl is hold on for dear life, which means things are about to get wild. And if you know cryptocurrency and you've been around it for a little while, yeah, things can get a little wild. So hodl, and usually that means things are about to go crazy, things are about to be good. So that's what that's talking about. But the reason why this looks really good for MSTY is obviously it's attached to MSTR. The problem is MSTY sells covered calls on MSTR, which means we have a limited upside. So hopefully, if MSTR does get put onto the S&P 500, the growth is steady enough that the covered calls can be, put in new covered calls, and we don't limit too much on the upside. MSTY can start recouping some of the losses that it's had over the last few months. So anyway, that's the latest and greatest. I'm very excited. Hopefully they get announced that they're on the S&P 500. Put it about a 50-50 chance of whether that actually happens. If not, there's a really good chance in Q1 that it'll happen, Q1 of next year. They actually end up reassessing which companies are going to be on the S&P 500 every quarter. And so if they don't get it this one, I think there's a good chance they'll make it on the next one. So really, this is all just good news for MSTR and MSTY. The reason for that is kind of obvious. People are just going to end up buying it a ton more just because it's included in the S&P 500. Lots of people buy into the S&P 500, just want to set it and forget it, or pension funds, retirement funds, you name it, people are buying into it and inadvertently holding Bitcoin. So not only is this good for Bitcoin, but MSTR, MSTY, I'm very excited for the potential future. Anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks.